In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to start making money on Clickbank using a secret Facebook ad strategy only the top 1% of affiliates are using. It's the same exact Facebook strategy that I've used to generate millions in commissions within the last 2 years as a Clickbank affiliate marketer. And it's the same strategy that's allowed me to become one of the top 10 affiliates of Clickbank in 2021. So without further ado, let's jump right into the content. First of all, you need to know what offer you want to promote on Clickbank. Most of the top offers on Clickbank are currently weight loss products. So I'd recommend to just go through the Clickbank marketplace and get familiar with some of the products and choose one of the top weight loss products that are on the marketplace right now. So now that you've chosen an offer to promote, the next step would be to create a simple blog style landing page to drive traffic to from Facebook. Landing pages are very necessary when running Clickbank products because Facebook doesn't like it when affiliates promote Clickbank links directly on the Facebook ad platform. Now, I'm not gonna go into the exact specifics of how to create a landing page in this video, but if you're interested in that, I can go ahead and create a highly detailed video that breaks down the exact landing pages that I'm using and that other top affiliates use as well. Now, the easiest way to actually go about doing this is to see what other affiliates are doing. So what I like to do is go on the Facebook ad library and search up common keywords that are relevant to your niche or to your offer. So you can find these keywords by going through the offer VSL, the video sales letter, and looking for the specific phrases that the offer owner likes to use. So for example, with the offer Exappear, they like to use the term tropical loophole. So I would go into Facebook ads library and type in tropical loophole and see what other affiliates are currently doing. And this way you can see who is spending the most money, who is scaling their ads, and you can create a similar funnel to them, similar ads, and similar landing page. Cool, so now that we have the foundation, we can get into the exact Facebook ad strategy that the top 1% of affiliates are using. And this strategy is broken down into 3 key phases. So phase 1 is the warm-up phase. Phase 2 is the testing phase, and phase 3 is the scaling phase. And I'm gonna break down each part of the phases right now. So let's jump into my computer and I'll show you guys that in a second. So the first phase is the warm-up phase. And if you come from like a more traditional e-com background, you might not be familiar with this, but nowadays with the way that Facebook is and how sensitive it is to bot-like activity, it's very crucial for us as advertisers to warm up our ad accounts, our profiles, basically anything related to Facebook, your Facebook page as well. I'm gonna just cover the Facebook ad account warm-up. I'll do the other warm-ups on a different video, but this is very specific to this strategy. This is the warm-up strategy right here. If you have never ran Facebook ads, it might sound a little confusing, but it's very simple, right? So on day 1, we launch a $1 page post engagement campaign. Day 2, $3 page post engagement. Day 3, $5. Day 4, $7. Day 5, $10, and so on until we get to day 7. On day 7, that's when we launch our first page like campaign. Page like is just a step above engagement. So that's why it's more on day 7. And then day 9 is traffic, right? So traffic ad, we're driving traffic directly to our landing page. These traffic ads aren't optimized to actually make sales, so they're like a step below the conversion ad. But the idea here is to get our domain approved. If you haven't ran any traffic to your domain, you want to make sure your domain is recognized by Facebook. It's not just some like random new domain that we just set up and is starting conversion ads on day 1, spending $100 a day plus, right? So that's the point of the traffic ad. And then day 10, that's when we start the conversion ads. And again, it's important to warm up your account because you want to build that trust with Facebook. You don't want to just launch $100 to $150 campaign on day 1 because that looks like it could be some scammer or a bot or whatever, right? So once you've warmed your account, that's when we can finally move on to the next phase, which is the testing phase, where we'll be testing mainly our ad creatives, right? Because the ad creative in this business model, specifically affiliate marketing with Clickbank, the creative has the biggest leverage when it comes to getting results. And again, the testing strategy is very simple. You'll start to see a pattern here that, we like to keep it simple, right? The more simple something is, the better at the end of the day with Facebook. But this is how you want to set up your testing campaign. So it's one campaign, it's optimized for sales, or the campaign objective is sales. And you can have multiple ad sets, but here I'll explain the setup for one ad set. So the ad set is optimized for purchases. The targeting is US, ages 18 and up, no interest, auto placements, and you want to set the budget between $150 to $300 a day. Now, if you don't have that kind of budget, you could start it a lot lower. I wouldn't recommend going, below 50 bucks, right? And that's mainly because the order value of the products we're selling here are a lot higher, right? It's between $100 to $150. So if you're only spending, $50 a day to try to make a $150 sale, it's gonna take you maybe 3 to 4 days to actually get that data, right? So if you can go higher budgets, if you don't have the means for it, you can still make sales using this strategy, but I would recommend to have some money set aside for the testing phase. And in each ad set, you're gonna have 5 to 7 different creatives, right? They're all gonna have the same ad copy, the same call to action. Everything else is the same, except the only variable we're changing here is the ad creative. Now, once you start your creative test, you're gonna see that you might have some winning creatives on your hands, and you'll know this if you're getting a cost per purchase between, let's say, like $50 to $90, okay? If you're hitting, a cost purchase within that range, it's safe to say that you can move that ad into a scaling campaign. I would wait for it to, show more consistent results. So maybe over the span of 3 to 5 days, if you're getting a cost per purchase of, $50 to $90, then, you can move it into a scaling campaign. And I would really only start phase 3 of this strategy if I have between 3 to 4 winning creatives. So the idea here is you set up these ad sets, you put your creatives in there, and you just let them run for 3 to 5 days, and you kill things off at the ad level, right? Not at the ad set level. So you're not turning off your ad set, you're instead turning off your ads and plugging in new ads, whenever you turn one off, right? So if you turn one off, add in a new one, it won't kill the optimization. The idea here is, again, just to find winning ads, right? So now that you have winning ads and your funnel is clicking, you have ads that are getting sales between $50 to $90, we can move into the third part, which is phase 3, scaling. So for the scaling strategy, it's again very simple. We have one CBO campaign, and I like to set the budget at around $1,000. Again, this depends on what your personal budget is, but $1,000 for me is a good starting point. I like to have 5 to 10 different ad sets in there based on how many ad creatives I actually have that are doing good. And each ad set, you want to have at least 3 to 4 winning creatives in there, right? I wouldn't recommend to put in creatives that are on the fence or just break even into this campaign. You want to wait until you have creatives that are getting you that target CPA before you even consider scaling. So you launch the CBO, and this is the day-by-day breakdown of what you want to do as it's running. So for day 1, you want to check your ads around 9 a.m. Eastern time, and if you have a ROI of at least 50%, you're spending $100 and you're making back $150, then I would bump the budget by 20%, okay? And then you want to check your ads around every 2 to 3 hours. And again, if you see that your ads have at least a 50% ROI, go ahead and do another 20% bump. And just do this for the rest of the day until about 3 p.m. Eastern time. After about 3 p.m., you kind of just want to let it sit. You don't want to really make any more budget changes or scaling after 3 p.m. People are it's getting later in the day at that point, and most of the sales honestly come in the morning. So yeah, just keep your budget bumps to between this time range, If you can get up earlier, if you live like on the West Coast, I would even go, 7 a.m. if you can. So that's day 1, and now day 2, right? Let's say day 1 was really well, or went really well, and now we're looking at a campaign that's a little bit higher than the original budget we set. So again, the same rules apply. If we have at least a 50% ROI on this second day, you can do a 20% bump again. These should actually be 50. I messed up here, but these should be 50% bumps. So if your performance is doing amazing, you can start doing a 50% bump and seeing how that does, okay? And you want to just keep doing this again between this specific time frame. And I've gone ad sets up to $12,000 ish just using this strategy, and just looking at my numbers, seeing if I'm hitting my ROI, and just bumping the budgets by 20 to 50% on the first 2 days. So on day 3, guys, we're gonna go ahead and just do the same thing as day 1 and 2, except this time you're gonna do 100% increase of your budget. So if you're at a $2,000 budget, you're gonna bump it up to $4,000. And again, just make sure your ROI stays consistent throughout the day. If you do a 100% bump from 9 to 11, and then at 11 you see that your CPA increased by $10 to $20, bring it back down to $2,000. And then again, see if it's staying consistent until 1 p.m. And then if at 1 p.m. it's doing good again, try another bump, right? But you're kind of just playing with it. You're going back and forth. You're seeing if your ads are profitable, and if they are, increase the budget. If they're not, bring it back down. Now let's say that your ads maybe aren't doing good, and you're not hitting that 50% ROI, and that you do see your sales slowing down. So like I mentioned, make sure you don't bump anymore on that day. If your ads are doing bad after you increase the budget and you pull it back and then they're still doing bad, just turn them off for that day. Cut your losses and start again the next day. But don't do another increase that day. Don't let your emotions get in the way and make that decision based on how you're feeling, right? Sometimes what I've done in the past is I'll be negative, and then I'll be like, oh, if I'll start to see like an increase, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, like I can make my money back, and then I'll do a bump and it'll just tank, right? So don't get greedy. Make decisions based on the ROI. And if your performance just completely dies off and you're not seeing the results anymore in your scaling campaign, don't be afraid to just go back to the testing phase and try different creatives. Because usually this means that maybe your ads have fatigued a little bit, or that Facebook is not giving you the pockets that you want with that specific ad. Happens all the time. So just go back to the testing phase, try new creatives, and once you have your creatives, go ahead and plug them back into the scaling campaign. So if there's one thing that you could take away from this video, guys, is that you can always turn something off and then turn it back on, but you can't go back in time and turn something off. If you spent that money, and you can't get it back. So don't be afraid to turn your ads off if they're not doing good, and don't be afraid to push the budgets if they are doing good. So just to recap, phase 1, warm up, phase 2, testing, and phase 3, scaling. Again, it's very simple, guys. There's not a huge secret out there as I might have framed it in the beginning of the video. But if you have a winning creative and a winning offer and a winning funnel, you can essentially just throw money at it and it'll give you a return, right? A lot of people like to make Facebook ads as this complex puzzle, and there's so much stuff out there that tells you that, but in reality you need to focus on the marketing and the creative and the parts of your funnel that actually make a difference. So if you have any questions about this specific strategy, please reach out, leave them in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer all the questions that you guys have. If you need some clarification, I'll go ahead and answer that. But if you found value in this video, please leave a sub, leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.